my favorite person of the day. Pope Francis. Pope Francis has, listen, I always start with my caveats. I know the Catholic Church is problematic as hell. Can everybody say amen that the Catholic Church has some serious problems? But man, I'm starting to like Pope Francis more and more and more. I mean, if you have to have religious people interfering with your life, at least have a religious person who actually looks out for the small person, the least among us, the most marginalized. And Pope Francis, at the behest of his bishops, his cardinals, of other leadership in the Catholic Church, at the behest of evangelicals, of people who really, religious zealots who literally hate this Pope, he's come out with some statements that are amazing. He was saying today that it was, and this was in his daily homily during his daily mass. He said that he suggested that it's better to be an atheist than a hypocritical Catholic. Now, for the atheists in my audience, they might not see this as a compliment. I get it. But you have to understand how piercing, how this cuts to the core of religious bigots, like religious zealots. I mean, this is not turning the other cheek. Pope Francis literally just smacked the hell out of him. And I want to give you his exact words because, as translated, obviously, and I'll put it up on your screen. He said, there are those who say, I am very Catholic. I always go to mass. I belong to this and that association. And this is according to Vatican radio transcript. He said that some of the people should also say, my life is not Christian. I do not pay my employees proper salaries. I exploit people. I do dirty business. I launder money and I lead a double life. There are many Catholics who are like this and they cause scandal. How many times have we all heard people say, if that person is a Catholic, it is better to be an atheist? Hear, 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 hear. Now, again, in context, it's not a compliment to the atheist community. I'll give you that. But in context of the reality of dealing with religious bigots, it clearly cuts to the core of the issue. You use religion as an excuse to oppress other because Christians are not marginalized in the United States whatsoever in the United States. But you use religion as a means of oppressing marginalized groups. And then you completely neglect the fact that you are completely devoid of any sense of what and who Jesus was on social issues, on economic issues. All you focus on is your perception of sexual morality, but pay no attention to the oppression that you're causing your quote unquote brother. And so what is the point of your faith? What is the point of your religion? If all your religion does is allow you to oppress somebody else and for you to have a sense of moral superiority because, oh, I'm a Catholic, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm evangelical, and I go to church. Yeah, but you live a life and you treat people in the most disgusting way imaginable. You may as well not even just because you do a disservice. You clearly do a disservice. And actually, I think this is what the Pope is saying. The Pope is saying you're doing such a disservice to your religion because other people look at you and say, if that's what it takes to be a Christian, I don't want any parts of it. And so not only do you do damage to the community at large because you're hurting the most marginalized people in society, you're even hurting your own religion. But the Pope was not done. He's been on a couple of tweet storms. He said on the 18th, how often in the Bible the Lord asks us to welcome migrants and foreigners, reminding us that we too are foreigners. Pope subtweeting Donald Trump. He went on to say the throwaway culture is not of Jesus. The other is my brother, beyond every barrier of nationality, social extraction, or religion. He went on to say Jesus entrusted Peter with the keys to open the entrance to the kingdom of heaven and not to close it, subtweeting Donald Trump in regards to the gate and the wall that he wants to build. And last but not least, do not underestimate the value of example, for it is more powerful than 1,000 words, 1,000 likes, retweets, or YouTube videos. I will say this. The Pope is, this is actually, I'm going to say this is actually very brave of the Pope, because he's going against the grain of so many rabidly zealotous religious leaders in his own organization. These statements that we can kind of just pass over and not really pay attention to, these statements are causing an uproar in the religious circles, and quite right. I mean, it needs to happen. It needs to happen because we are living in an America where religious zealotry is being used to oppress people all over again. I mean, if they had their way, they would carry out a crusade against Islam. They would, because they feel like it's their religious requirement. They, if they had their way, they would have Sharia law in the United States. It would just be based on Judeo-Christian values. They want a theocracy here in the United States. They want to make illegal anything that does not conform to their interpretation of the Bible. They don't care. They pay no attention to all the things in the Bible that actually underscore a more progressive society. They don't care about the fact that Jesus threw the bankers out of the temple because they made the temple the den of thieves. They don't care about that. They want to make Jesus a gun-toting, gay-hating, capitalism-loving Republican. And this is the type of America that they want. And so to see the de facto leader, he's not the leader of Protestants, obviously, clearly, an entire generation of wars were fought over that. But he is still almost like the de facto voice for Christianity in the United States of America, willing to challenge hierarchies of religious zealotry, because he has a more loving view of the world because of his faith. Is something that I would salute on my show, and I hope that you would salute as well. Have a good night.
The Benjamin Dixon Show is only possible with listener support. Go to www.thebenjamindixonshow.com to register for our blog, join the Progressive Army, and support The Benjamin Dixon Show. It's Ben Dixon! If you like this episode, be sure to share, like, and subscribe.
Consider becoming a Patreon. Go to www.patreon.com/The BPD Show and support The Benjamin Dixon Show.